Mr Dutton.
Thanks very much, Kieran. Thank you, Anthony, for being here tonight, and thank you very much to the audience. I think your stories tonight will reflect the realities and the stories of millions of Australians, and it has been a tough year, a tough 3 years, in fact, for Australians. People have seen the government make mistakes, starting with the voice and priorities that just haven't accorded with your own priorities. Almost 30,000 small businesses have gone broken. Behind each one of those stories, there is somebody who's lost their house or lost their life savings. People have gone backwards because when you go to the supermarket now, you're now paying 30% more for groceries, paying about 32% more for your electricity. And the Prime Minister promised at one of these debates at the last election that your power bills would go down by $275. Instead, they're up by $1,300. I want to provide support to Australians from the first day that we're elected, and that is through a 25 cent a litre cut to fuel, both diesel and unleaded. It'll help families, it'll help businesses, it'll help pensioners, and it will help the economy. In addition to that, we want to make sure that we can get gas for Australians so that we can fix up the energy system, which is driving up the cost of everything. And if we can do that, we can get our country back on track. That's a positive plan that I want to talk about, and I want to say thank you very much for being here tonight.
Mr Dutton, thank you very much. We've got our first question. Michael. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you. You hold it. I've got a question to both the Prime Minister and Mr Dutton. We came out of COVID and the economy did really well after that, and we're still going well at the moment. How are we going to cope with the Trump pandemic that we're going through right now? And what's your strategy around getting Australia on the right foot going forward?
It's a great question. Prime Minister, first to you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Michael. And indeed, Australians did show extraordinary resilience during the global pandemic. And we came through that, but it had a long tail that's still having an impact today, and straight afterwards followed by inflation. Now, President Trump has made a decision that I've called an act of economic self-harm for the United States. When you impose tariffs, it's a tax on the country that is imposing it. So Americans will pay more for the goods that they purchase from overseas, and that will have an impact here because we know that as the world's largest economy, it's expected to dampen global economic growth, so it does present a challenge. But last Thursday, we were prepared. Australia got the best deal of any country on the planet. 10% is 10% more than we would like, but no one got a better deal than us, in part because of the representations that we'd made. But we were prepared as well. No country is better positioned to take advantage of the trade opportunities. And it's important to remember this. 80% of global trade doesn't involve the United States. So in our region in particular, there will be opportunities for Australia that we want to seize. We've said we'll have global trade missions following the missions that I've led to Indonesia, to India and China, looking for opportunities for businesses. We'll create a fund through our National Reconstruction Fund of $1 billion to help businesses adjust here. We'll continue to negotiate, of course, with the United States, looking for a better deal for Australia, because reciprocal tariffs would, of course, be zero because we don't impose tariffs on US goods.
We might hear from Mr Dutton. Thanks.
Well, Michael, thank you for your question. I sat around the cabinet table when we negotiated with the Trump Mark I presidency, and we negotiated an outcome for Australia which is much better than what we had today, and it meant that Australia was excluded from the first round of tariffs imposed by President Trump. I've also sat around the table, cabinet table and the National Security Committee when we went through COVID, and the support that we provided to families, to employees, to employers kept our economy going through a very rough period. And I know that we can deal with whatever comes our way. I think one of the great things about living in the greatest country in the world is that whatever is thrown at us, the Prime Minister of the day should have the ability and the strength of character to be able to stand up against bullies, against those that would seek to do us harm, to keep our country safe and to make sure that we can make the right economic decisions for our country as well. And that's exactly what I would seek to do as Prime Minister.